So that made the climax of the movie feel much more big, but then there's still big events that still happen at the very end.
That's the car right there. Shit, they got an elevator in this bitch.
What's up, YouTube? Jab by Movies here, and you're watching
Fresh Releases.
My name is James.
My name's Blaze.
And today we checked out the new film that hit Netflix, They Cloned Tyrone.
Yo, that you, girl? Oh, shit, that is you! My bad.
Let's take care of this shit right now. I don't know what that was, but that wasn't me.
Netflix's latest hit film, They Cloned Tyrone, is the story of a series of eerie events that thrust an unlikely trio onto the trail of a nefarious government conspiracy in this pulpy mystery caper. So James, this is a huge throwback to blaxploitation cinema, done in a modern, twisty sci-fi way. Almost feels like it's somewhat inspired by, I guess, some of the Jordan Peele films, even a more recent Netflix film, The Harder They Fall. Anyways, what'd you think of this film?
Well, so I went into this movie blind and I didn't really know what to expect. I know John Boyega's been, I know he was like assigned to do a couple Netflix projects. I think he already had maybe one or two come out already that I haven't checked out. But I was most excited to see him work with Jeremy Saulnier. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, he dropped out of that project. But glad to see him again, just because I haven't seen him really since any Star Wars movies. And we loved him in Attack the Block, such a fun character in that movie. And it's nice seeing him in a lead role again. And I kind of expect him, like, Attack the Block's a very comedic movie, but he was the more serious leader of the group and stuff, despite him having his comedic moments. But here, he's more of like a force to be reckoned with, to where he's very intense and intimidating. Whereas we've seen that from Jamie Foxx, but Jamie Foxx is much more of a, like, kind of just fun and super colorful character, and definitely like feels like more of a movie style character at times. So it's a nice blend within this movie, but I didn't expect it to go in a sci-fi realm for the most part. I'd say overall it's a movie that, like, just I didn't know where it was going, and there's a lot of fun twists and turns, and I like that it revealed kind of where it was going halfway through, the twist on the movie kind of halfway through. I think about like 50 minutes to an hour in, and so that made the climax of the movie feel much more big, but then there's still big events that still happen at the very end. But what are your initial thoughts?
So I'm going to confront the elephant in the room here. I feel like I've heard a lot of people say, like, this film didn't know tonally what it wanted to be. I can see where you're coming from, but this is like I think it's a first-time director. If not first time, maybe sophomore director. So I'm going to just give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe this is, his ultimate vision. I agree with you. Like, it kind of, like, I couldn't guess where it was going. Literally the first 20-30 minutes is just this slick, cool blaxploitation movie. And then it twists into like a science fiction movie, but it's still serious. And then it just goes full parody for like a moment. And you're like, what is going on? Especially when they get to the chicken house, they go to the Roscoe's homage. Almost, it feels like it's just so, like, there's so many different paths that this film takes. But I have to say, like, that first 20 minutes where it was just so absolutely cool, slick, great music. Even when it gets to like more the parody stuff, where they had some great music with the science fiction kind of style. I just overall love this movie. I thought it was a really fresh take on a movie we hadn't seen yet. It has a little bit of everything, which to me kind of just shows that it's a little first director syndrome. It's like somebody who's like, might be my only film that I ever get to make, so I'm gonna put everything I like into this movie.
Yeah, and it's about time also that someone kind of made a ballsy movie. So often a lot of people are like, cinema's dead. Like, there's nothing new and fresh out there. Nobody takes risks, and they are out there. I'll admit, it's not as often anymore that we see kind of movies like that. Like, yeah, you could say A24 and Neon are studios that are putting stuff that are a little bit more out there, but now some of those style movies are kind of feeling still more of the same, I guess you could say, despite them being different compared to mainstream movies. Like they're starting to feel very similar amongst one another. Not that the two movies are relatively similar, but a movie that this kind of reminded me of though was just a movie with Lakeith Stanfield that came out a few years ago, and also I believe it was a directorial debut for that director, but the movie called Sorry to Bother You. Reason why I compare them is just because I had no idea what direction this movie was going to go in, and that movie starts off as a comedy versus this one feels more like a drama crime thriller at first, and then goes into a sci-fi realm, and that movie goes a little bit more over the top and wild and bizarre, but this movie still, like, you know, feels very grounded, but just goes for it and goes for something different that we haven't seen, and still brings surprises. A lot of actors I haven't seen as well too. Like sometimes just seeing an actor that you recognize just show up in a movie, like I'm not sure if they advertised that Kiefer Sutherland was in this movie, but him coming halfway into the movie was super fun to see. I always associate him as a horror actor, like from The Lost Boys or the villain in Stand By Me. I know he's famous for other stuff, but cool to see him just come into this movie and still have an intimidating presence amongst like a serious situation that our characters are going through.
Definitely. I just really enjoyed this. This is a movie where honestly, like as soon as it boots up and I'm just like, all right, I'm into it. And then once the parody happens, it reminds me of some blaxploitation parody movies, like of course Black Dynamite, many others. But that was one where the Viper, what is it, like Viper malt liquor? Anaconda malt liquor! Reminded me so much of like the chicken that's in this movie. But then they get into where there's more than just one product. It's not just the chicken. But yeah, this movie is just absolutely entertaining. Jamie Foxx, he's somebody that, I mean, I don't think we sleep on that much. I think everyone knows he's great, but people do kind of sleep on him at times, not know how great he actually is. I don't think anyone really watched Day Shift. But this was one where he's playing just this absolutely outlandish character. He looks like he's having so much fun. You still have some of the other characters that might be a little bit more grounded, but he's just like absolutely stealing the scene in pretty much every scene. So it's just really, really entertaining.
Yeah, I guess it's like the hairdo reminded me of like I think his name was like Cornhole or Corn something or Bullhorn. No, Bullhorn was Black Dynamite's like best friend, but some guy with the name Corn something in Black Dynamite definitely reminded me. And yeah, the Anaconda malt liquor scene is definitely like, yeah, reminiscent. I never even thought about that, but now I want to rewatch that movie. But yeah, this movie just seems like a movie that I can easily rewatch and love to show people to kind of just get a twist going and stuff. Like, it's a good movie where if you're trying to impress someone on like a date night or something, where you're just like, oh, I kind of want to watch something that has like, that's actually good. Like, this is a good movie for. I'm not sure what critics are saying about it or what the reviews are like on Letterboxd or anything, but I'm just genuinely excited that I just watched a good movie that I'm genuinely enjoyed and can see myself recommending and rewatching.
Definitely. And it seemed, I mean, maybe I could be wrong. I didn't look up the runtime, but it seemed shorter than most movies in the theater right now. So huge plus. Yeah, I just thought that, like, if you wanted a cool blaxploitation movie, but you really don't want to dig up something from the 70s, or you only like newer movies, this is probably a great entry for you. I do think it throws enough, fun throwbacks to the originals that it's still, paying respect to the originals. But if you're somebody who only likes, newer movies, you like new stuff on Netflix or whatever, you don't like to watch older movies, this movie's also shot on film, so there's a lot going for it.
That was something, I definitely wanted to call out. Just, I absolutely love the look of film, like, being translated onto my 4K Netflix account and stuff, onto my TV and everything, just because, a lot of people might not be able to tell the difference at a digital projector or theater or something, but, I see the difference at my TV at home. Definitely see the difference between seeing it and on film at a theater as well, too. I haven't seen Oppenheimer in 70mm IMAX, but, this was nice to watch, though, on my screen at home, though. So it's nice to just kind of get that movie theater quality feel at Netflix on my couch in my living room, which is great. So we don't know how other people are feeling about it. Let us know what you thought about the movie. Great way to help support the show. Just watch it on your Netflix account or the Netflix account you're stealing from, and come back here. Let us know what you're thinking about it in the comments below.
I think those that ship might have sailed, man. Possibly. I think that their like password protect is now like enacted. But anyways, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and click that notification bell to get all of our latest updates.
And you know what? Speaking of updates, be sure to catch all our social media links down below. We have our own personal letterbox accounts. If you agree or disagree with either of us, check them out. We also got Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you name it. Be sure to catch all our updates down there. Anyways, guys, that'll conclude this week's episode. Tune in next week for a brand new video.